Alright, what's been going on this week?
Like, 9:58 is, obviously an extraordinary time, but honestly, I feel like it's a lot of guys who are competing today who are not that far off.
What to do, but now Sabini's going to take it! It is, and no LYLES going to go sub-10.
Ah yes, just another week of teenagers spitting on Olympic and world champions. This week's Diamond League was only an 11-hour drive from the last, meaning we basically had the same fields and results that felt like deja vu, with a bit of a twist. So let's start from there. The women's 100 hurdles again starred the 4 golden girls, 2 world record holders, a world champ, and an Olympic champ. Except this time with drama. Allman is officially DQ'd from a false start, but still runs under protest. Johnson puts the hand up, and third time's the charm, to just run almost an exact replica of last week. Charlton out blazing, but this time holds on a little longer.
Allman running well in lane 6, remember, Allman running under protest.
Barely caught by Camacho Quinn, and technically Allman, but she's DQ'd. So Olympic champ Camacho Quinn takes his second big win in a row, yet there's still that lingering taste of uncertainty. You couldn't pick a winner on the night even if you tried. Then it's Duplantis out walking the talk, and he was looking to earn another fat stack, going over 582, the height that took second place, like it's not even there.
Surprise! We're all talking about how he looked a bit...
It's too easy for this guy. 592 is piss. 6 meters over and out.
And he said...
Then 625, a new world record.
Attempt at a world record, 625.
Not today. Too many green treats, my guy. World record coming in 2 weeks.
Had this chocolate, it was green. Oh, really? This little bun is made out of green pea. This other cake that was made out of green bean. I think some of it was quite good.
The men's 100 meter was the obligatory 10-second showdown, Kerr vs Coleman, where no one else mattered. But get this, as it turns out, someone else mattered.
But back comes Sabini on him. Sabini's going to take it.
Nakani Sabine with the yoink from behind, closing like a legitimate speed demon. And he finished with one of the times of all time. But while the 100 meter is looking lackluster, you cannot predict who's going to win week to week. So it's kind of excitingly shit, I'd like to think. And man, if you thought Coleman and Kerr were clowns, get a load of this. UK's Daryl Neita blows out this 200 meter field in 22.62 seconds. A proper solid opener, she killed it, and she's all smiles.
Giving chase from lane 4, but Daryl Neita of Great Britain and Northern Ireland in her season opener.
But there's Richardson in third, again, kinda giving up before the line. And honestly, I think this one hurt more than last week. We thought the world champs might have been the end of her redemption arc, but she's still clearly showing cracks. Okay, now on to the main attraction, the high jump. My favourite event, and yes, I will keep letting you know. Shanghai showcased a solid field starring New Zealand's Kerr, the world champ, and Qatar's Barhsim, Olympic champ. Kerr scrapes 229, looking shaky.
That's nice from Kerr.
And Barhsim follows with a clean clearance, making these two the class of the field.
31, he's had 1 failure. But it's good the second time.
Where did that come from? Kerr smokes 231, taking the win over Barhsim, who skipped to 233, absolutely clattering it. And Kerr rounded out the comp with a pretty neato attempt at 235. Out on the women's spear throw, Australia's Mackenzie Little is a doctor?
Mackenzie Little of Australia on the runway at the moment. Little is a doctor.
Apparently flying in and out of meets across the world between work. That's probably the highlight of this meet in itself. Dr. Little led all the way from round 1 to 6 with a hefty 61 meter throw and a further 62.12 in the second round. Just for Japan's Kitaguchi to repeat her gold medal heist from the 2023 World Champs. 6th attempt, 62.97 meters, sneaking a clutch win over the dock, but still, a couple meters behind the world-leading 15-year-old.
Just spoiled Mackenzie Little's party.
Out on the discus, it was Allman, who at this point has me convinced she's the female version of Allmight, and proves upon her last week win, by displaying utter domination. She could have won this competition with 5 of her 6 throws. The winning mark landing 69.86 meters, 2 meters ahead of China's Feng and 4 meters ahead of world leader Perez, who's starting to make me think that the win in Oklahoma was truly doing something special. The men's 110 hurdles featured again the faster than Holloway crew.
Good start from Roberts. Parchment still has some work to do. Roberts now starting to grow into the race. Issamir still in contention, but Roberts gets away.
Roberts leads and finishes 1 millisecond outside his own world lead to win again, but followed this time by Japan's Izumia. Now let me see them beat Holloway while he's in the lane next door, thanks. Then rounding out the Shanghai Diamond League, Barhsim is cruising on the back of Mahari in the men's 5k, just to slipstream past him, rounding the last lap.
He did start sprinting, you could see his form change down the back straight, but Barhsim
12 minutes, 55.68 seconds, the second fastest 5k time of the year. And Mahari trails in a close second, and he's only 17 years old? And it's just his second track 5k ever? You can't just cut me off there. Now to the US, namely Florida, where names we haven't seen in years were finally debuting. Like seriously, look at this list. Olympic champ Jacobs, actually running. Trayvon Bromell, Grasse, Su Bingtian, and is that Christopher Lemaitre, the world's fastest white guy? What the hell? Grasse, who's notoriously been just kinda shit unless it's a major competition, is actually doing pretty good work, taking the men's 200 meter on day 1 over Pablo Mateo in 20.11 seconds. It was a pretty gusty win though. But get this, Grasse comes out again and doubles in the 100, taking out Marcel Jacobs by 1,000th and Bromell in 3rd for 10.11 seconds. Legal win and all. Go on, tell me what you think of this time in the comments, because historically, this is actually a pretty good opener for him. He's back on the hunt come Olympic year. And to round off the men's sprints, just the first professional sub-10 this season. Brandon Hicklin goes at 9.94 seconds with a 1.7 wind, number 2 in the world this year, and that's just another US sprinter to be scared of at the trials. Now to the women's side. As per usual, the better gender continues to put up some historic performances without the historic athletes even showing up. Louisiana showcased Aleia Hobbs and Favour Ofili battling it to the line. 10.78 seconds, only 1 millisecond behind Sears' world lead, but it is a 2.2 win. Ofili also doubled back in the women's 200 to a performance that would have won this week's Diamond League, 22.34 seconds. But hold that thought, that was into a negative 2.0 headwind. That's almost illegal, but the wrong way round.
Stadium record holder Morgan Lala of Newlands.
And UK's Dina Asher-Smith manages to best Ofili's effort out in Texas, but instead with the help of the wind, going 22.29 seconds. And here we go again, just for everyone to get beaten out by 19-year-old NCAA freshman Jamisha Ford, who's back in hot form after her indoor exploits to run the fastest time this week, 22.21 seconds. Ford is one of those athletes that has run so fast so many times already. I really hope to see her make the Olympic team. Okay, now hear me out. The Asian Junior Championships. I've talked about the Asian sprinting boom in the past, especially with breakouts like 18-year-old Boon Soon, Hakim Sunny Brown, and Su Bingtian. But the next generation is somehow looking even scarier. At the Under-20 Asian Champs, the 100 meter would be taken out by China's Kelly Zheng in a blistering time. A big 10.15 seconds. And he's only 17. That's an Under-20 national record, and for some perspective, in any other year, that would be a leading high school time in the US, but by an Asian kid. And the men's 400 meter would see the Chinese version of Quincy Wilson. And not only because they run similar times at a similar age, but because they even kind of run the same. Alexa Wumia, aged 17, 45.52 seconds. Clearly taking the title in another Under-20 Chinese record. And now truly, last but not least, 2 weeks ago, unironically probably the freakiest result of 2024, Ziyi broke the under-20 javelin world record with a gargantuan throw, 64.28 meters. And I gave it away earlier, but she's only 15. I don't think you get how big that is. That would have won this week's Diamond League. That's still this year's world leading mark 5 months in. It would have placed silver and bronze at the last 2 world championships. And it's a legitimate Olympic qualifying mark, but she's too young to even go. What more can be said? With the way US treats track and field, I'm seeing a future where China tops the medal table. Heading into the final day, the Bermuda Grand Prix was hosted in some tornado-like conditions. And I mean swirling winds, making any good times hard to come by. And this can be seen in some pretty wacky 200 meter times, yet the winds were supposedly 3 and above. But that couldn't stop double world champ Noah Lyles taking a gun-to-tape win over a top field
There. Oh yes it is. And
in 9.96 seconds. Technically wind assisted, and you really got to remember, Lyles wasn't really a 100 meter guy until last season. So again, times like these are good signs leading into an Olympic battle. Also sneakily in the background, Jamaica's wonder kid, Jaden Hibbert, was doing a couple leaps, opening his season with a chill 17.33 meter triple jump, off an 8-step run up, coming back from an injury. He's one of those young athletes you'll want to keep an eye on as he works towards the Olympics. And that's a wrap for the week. Another Diamond League down, a lot of really promising openers this week in the sprints. But don't you forget, no matter how good you are at something, there's always an Asian kid better than you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.